Hello again. As part of yesterday's homework, you were to note any areas of your body that had physical pain, discomfort, or medical conditions. You were also to look into metaphysical causes and healing affirmations that were specific to your ailments, if you had any. The reason for this is that part of happiness is feeling good within your own physical body. And the power of your mind is extraordinary in healing and maintaining your body. I used this as part of my recovery from some of the medical traumas I dealt with in my life, and I would recommend it to anybody. This is not to replace any instructions from your medical professionals. It's just something to look into because it helped me heal personally and countless others. I also found the use of positive and relatable affirmations very effective in my healing. And that's why I use positive affirmations with many of my clients and in my affirming arts work. Also, as part of your homework yesterday, you were to begin to practice allowing the energy to move freely throughout your body and then begin releasing the negative energy out of your body through your feet or your hands. That may seem weird and new to people, but it's pretty awesome when you can do it. So the negative energy could be a result of any of the following feelings: fear, guilt, shame, anger, blame, regret, hatred, sadness, grief, revenge, hopelessness. There are so many more negative feelings that could be causing that. Today we're going to look at this a little bit further and heal some of these places in your body through practicing forgiveness and letting go. This may be a weird concept to you, but you can heal relationships in the same way by recognizing where there is negativity or an energy block and releasing the energy through forgiveness and letting go. There may have been places in your body where energy gets stuck. And at the same time, you may have relationships that could be better, or ones that you've written off but not totally forgiven or forgotten about. If you become very in tune with your body and be honest with yourself about your relationships with yourself and with others, you may notice some interesting correlations. Some of those physical symptoms you've been holding on to may in fact have something to do with a past experience with yourself or with others. That's why today we're going to look for places in our bodies, in our life, and in our relationships that we may have neglected. Maybe we haven't completed something, or maybe we haven't let go. I've seen people's health and relationships improve through what we'll be looking at today. And I've had this same experience myself. So let's get into it. Take a moment and close your eyes. Feel into your body and scan it to see if there's any area in your body, or if there are more than one, that you've got any pain or discomfort. And just see if there's some places that maybe some energy is pooled up or stuck there. You may have screaming pain that's hard to ignore, and you may have some subtle bits of energy, or just some tingling that's barely noticeable. And you may have all of it. Okay, so you can open your eyes. So where is it in your body that you felt those sensations? And then what can you do about it? Well, when I was writing this, I did the same exercise, and I noticed at the time I had a strong, nagging pain in my lower back, and also a large pool of energy tingling in and around my jaw area. So I quieted my mind, closed my eyes, and I asked where I needed to let go of something or bring forgiveness into my relationship with myself or anyone else in my life. And here's the answer I got. My lower back was hurting because I told myself I would do my financial paperwork that day, and I chose to write this program instead. And I hadn't forgiven myself for not doing what I needed to do. And then when I checked into my jaw area, I found that I hadn't communicated with my friends much at all for a while, and that I hadn't invited anybody to my birthday party. And so I was making myself wrong for being disconnected and communicating with my friends, and it came up in my jaw. In both of these examples, I can take responsibility for how my actions had contradicted my word to myself, and then I was able to do something about it. So for my financial paperwork, I kept putting it in my calendar, but I didn't get to it. I kept putting it off. So I knew I needed something that was a bit stronger. So I found an accountability partner, a friend of mine, to make sure that she called me all the time to make sure I stayed on top of what I needed to do. And then as for sending out my birthday party invitations, I just put that in the calendar at the time. Then, I did it. So I was able to forgive myself and let it go because I was able to restore my word with myself. So telling ourselves one thing and then doing another is a recipe for unhappiness, because we'll always be making ourselves wrong for it. And if we ignore it, it's going to show up in our bodies somewhere or in our relationships somewhere. So the same goes with relationships with other people. It's not always with ourselves. So whether or not you have anything going on in your body right now or in your life, there's a good chance that when you take a look, you can find an opportunity to forgive somebody. Forgiveness is so important because it frees you from any hurt that you may have had in the past or in the present or even in the future. Imagine being completely free, having healed from any relationships and experiences you've ever had, from your relationship to your parents, to your partners, to your children, friends, classmates, colleagues, neighbors, other communities, cultures, and countries. You may find that some of the negativity you carry isn't even from you, but from other influences in your life. Forgiveness is a magic key that allows you to take back the control you allowed others to have over your life. If you're holding on to any negative past experience, and you find to think about it or talk about it from time to time, consider you're just reliving it over and over again. And what happens when you continue to relive experiences? You give the power back to the person or the experience that caused the upset in the first place. What's the point in that? We don't have control over others, but we do have control over ourselves. The one thing we can do to help with forgiveness is to recognize that we are all human. The best we can do to understand others is to listen, ask questions, and imagine what things must be like from their perspective and experience. No matter how hard we try this, we will never fully get each other's experiences. We can blame, judge, criticize, hold grudges, withhold, and keep the negativity within ourselves. We can blast people, we can get revenge, or we can just let it go and forgive. And I get it. Sometimes people do absolutely terrible things, like unforgivable things. But what happens to us when we carry that around? It becomes our burden to bear. It's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It's harmful to ourselves, and we don't need it. So if this is you and you've experienced something that seems unforgivable, you can forgive yourself for carrying around this burden for so long, and just ask your higher self to release the rest of it. And then do one of the energy flow exercises I taught you a few days ago to help release the remaining negative energy. The most important thing to recognize that forgiveness is a major key to happiness, and that you deserve to be happy, and you deserve to be free from the constraints of the past. Perhaps you did something that was terrible and you need to forgive yourself and move on. So your homework today is to scan your body and your mind for anything that you wish to forgive yourself or others for. Quiet your mind and ask yourself, what do you need to do to be able to forgive yourself and others more easily? Practice forgiving yourself and others in your mind or out loud, and feel the freedom that comes along with it. Write in your happiness notebook who you forgave and how you feel now, and whether or not there are any parts that you're still holding on to, okay? And then visualize for 10 minutes in full detail your dream vision. I'll see you tomorrow.